class.
Good morning, madam.
Morning. How are you?
You're fine.
Yeah. I hope you are all fine. Today we are going to have a very small session. Before we start, let me share the screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So today we are going to learn about our topic is observe workplace procedures for hazards and risk prevention. The previous time we had a class on personal protective equipment. Do we recall anything regarding the same? Anyone? Chris?
Yes. Pardon, madam. Pardon?
What are PPEs?
PPEs are the personal protective gears,
Equipment. Very good. Uh-huh.
like the
Sally said, Sally,
Yes, madam.
what do you
Pardon?
recall about PPEs?
PPEs are equipment that protect us against harm.
Very nice. Can you give us an example?
We have helmets,
Mm-hmm.
gloves, and safety boots, among others.
Very good. Okay. Let's give her a thumbs up. I can't see you react. So our learning outcomes are, by the end of the session, the learner should be able to, number one, identify potential hazards in the use of tools and equipment in the working sessions. Then number two, describe accident preventive measures in the kitchen. Those are our learning outcomes. So before we start, what do you think is a hazard? What comes in your mind when you hear the word hazard? Yes, Chris.
a trial.
Yeah.
I think as that are the safety or precaution safety measure.
Okay, that's a nice trial. Sally, what do you think? Okay, so can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Sorry, I had to admit someone. So a hazard is an easy source of potential harm that can cause injury, illnesses, or damage. Hazard can come in many forms. For example, you can have physical dangers like a slippery floor, chemical risks, some toxic substances, and they're all posing a risk or a danger at the workplace. So that is a hazard, okay? The next part we want to look at, what hazards do you know in the workplace? We've been working in different workshops. Have we ever encountered any form of a hazard? Anyone? Chris, have you encountered any hazard before? Sally? Okay, so let me tell you of hazards. A hazard, it is anything that has the potential of causing harm. Sorry, I think we are past that. Identifying of workplace hazards is a critical step in ensuring a safe working environment. Hazards can be either physical, chemical, biological, and so forth. That is the first step that you have to do. You have to identify first. Then the next thing is conduct workplace inspections. A regular walk through the workplace. You can observe potential risks and hazards such as slippery floors. Then you can now know what are some of the steps that you need to put in place. You have to analyze the job tasks, examine work activities and determine if they involve repetitive motions, heavy lifting, and prolonged exposure to harmful substances. Like, for example, if you're working in the kitchen and it happens it has a slippery floor. Yes, the floor is slippery, but what are we supposed to do? Next, then the other thing, you have to engage with employees. Workers often recognize hazards and that management might overlook. Encourage them to report unsafe conditions, fosters, and proactive safety culture. If you're working in a specific workshop and you realize there are some of the hazards or the risks that can be identified, make sure that you bring them to board, okay? Then the next part that you're going to look at, you have to review incident reports. Past accidents and near misses can reveal patterns and areas that need immediate attention. If at any point you've been having frequent fires or frequent spills or falling down or falling of objects, you can now know this has been happening. So what are the precautions that you're going to do so as to avoid any hazard or any risk? You have to check safety data sheets. These documents provide information on hazardous chemicals in the workplace and how to handle them safely. You should also assess work environment, consider factors like lighting, ventilation, noise levels, and overall cleanliness. Those ones. Okay, so before we go on, I have a question. How are we going to avoid noise in the workplace? Assuming you're working in a workshop that is very noisy, how are we going to ensure safety amongst the employees? Anyone? Let me see. I want to choose on someone. Sally?
We can use the earpods. They're called earpods.
Okay, that's nice. And Chris?
Madam, a trial. Can
Chris,
you
what
use,
do you think?
I think we can use a soundproof.
Very nice. You can use the soundproof, okay? That is all your answers are correct. So the next part, we are having some of the examples of hazards. So from your screen, what can you see? What can you see on your screen from those images?
I'm seeing falls. Someone who has fallen.
Yes. What causes a fall? What causes falls, Chris?
I think the
Sleep.
Water or slippery floors. Sindio?
Yeah.
Sally, what can you see?
I can see burns and fire.
What causes them? So basically, those are some of the things that poses hazards in the workplace. We can have cuts, poisons, electrocution, shocks, burns, and so forth. those are some of the hazards. But now, how best can we prevent accidents in the kitchen? That is something that should be ringing in your mind every time, not necessarily the kitchen, but the workplace. You have to know, so as to know what are some of the precautions that you need to put in place. So the first one is maintaining high standards of cleanliness. Handle sharp objects carefully. You can use the gloves. You can use heat protection. When we're talking about preventing fires, you have to keep flammable materials far away from open flames. Then you have to be cautious when cutting. You have to be cautious when handling electric appliances, okay? Another thing, you have to store chemicals safely, practice food safety in refrigeration, in handling, and so forth. Make sure you ensure high standards of hygiene and safety as well. You have to keep the floors clean, ensure proper ventilation, and have a fire extinguisher handy so that in case of fires, you can put off the fires immediately, okay? So when you look at the image on the screen, you can see the kitchen safety signages. Signages are those images that you put in different places so as to keep people aware of some risk or damages, okay? We can have the do not enter if that is a designated area where you're supposed to enter. Keep out. We have some warning signs or the caution signs. Like you can see someone who has goggles. Maybe you're dealing with something that is going to affect your eyes, or maybe you're dealing with excessive light. You can see the safety boots. You can see the gloves. So those are some of the signages that you need to put in place. So the next part is the conclusion. Observing workplace safety procedures help identify hazards and prevent risks, ensuring a safer, more efficient work environment. A strong safely culture reduces accidents, protects employees, and boosts productivity. Prevention is always the key. Okay. Parting shots, what do we say? Stay safe and healthy. Is there anyone who has a question or needs a clarification? Anyone? Anyone who has a question or needs a clarification?
I have a question, madam.
Okay.
What causes fire?
That's a good question. Before I respond, who is going to give us a trial? What are some of the causes of fire? Any trial? I know we've interacted with fire and you know how bad it can be. Causes ni kama which? Tabitha, what do you say? Any trial? So fire is caused by a lot of things. For example, when you're having the open flames, when you're storing flammable items closer to open fires, we can have the poorly done electricity wires or the naked wires. They can equally cause fires. So you have to make sure that to avoid the occurrence or incidences of fire, you have to put in place a lot of things to avoid the same. So I've said, parting shot, we say, stay safe and healthy. That one will be very important key. So our assignment is, how can workplace hazards be identified and prevented to ensure a safe working environment? I want you to go and do a detailed research on the same, and your assignment should be presented in the as a Word document submitted immediately after this class through the class rep. I hope everyone has understood, and we're all going to put in place whatever we've learned. You're all going to ensure safety, unless there's someone who has a question. Thank you very much. Until next time, remember to stay safe always. Bye.